I'm in Shropshire. I think I'm actually on a border, so I'm not quite sure. Shropshire and somewhere else near Oswestry, and staying with a friend of my daughter whose mother died, and he's clearing up her cottage, so I'm helping out a bit. This is where I've been staying for the last 4 nights, in this little tiny mill cottage that I think is probably, might even be 17th century, possibly 18th. And the water you can hear is the water that drove the mill wheel. The miller must have become, over the years, must have become quite wealthy, because that's some big mill now on the right. And they built a much bigger house, which you can see the smoke coming from, in the mid-19th century. But I've been staying in this bit where you can see the little white windows and door. Which has been renovated in sort of quite a modern style. Beautiful spot. The external staircase. There is a mill pond. Now I could imagine that the wheel was in here, and that this water, which as you can see deliberately flows away from the wall, would have fallen into the buckets that are around the outside of the wheel, so that the weight of each bucket made the wheel turn. And then as the buckets got to the bottom, they would empty, and the weight of the next bucket would keep pulling the wheel round. And this is basically how water power used to work. So you can imagine a really big wheel here. I mean, they were huge. They were like, 10, 12 foot across. And somehow it had a shaft that somehow went to this building, because it's in here that you find one of the remaining big cogwheel. I haven't seen any mill stones as such, but I'm curious to know where this water comes from. Well, let's have a look. This is the back garden to the house. The woman used to have chickens. There's another pond up here. Okay. Oh, it's even got a sluice gate, like you see on canal locks, so they could actually control the flow of the water going to the mill wheel. Probably a stream that went down to that little river, and they've interrupted the flow, built this wall, and then used the flow to power the water wheel. There's a very nice bed of watercress here. A beautiful day. Got me thinking about how, the progression of power. So, having your corn ground, your wheat ground, was an incredibly important thing to do, because grinding wheat by hand is extraordinarily labour intensive. So what they did was, where they had water, they would have a water wheel, and where they had wind, they would have a windmill. But it would be the same effect. It would sorry, I'm trying to shut the gate. Turn a shaft, which would then turn some ears, which would then turn the grinding stones. And I was thinking about it, and about, the different forms of energy that we use to do this, and how, in some countries they would have used a donkey or a horse or a mule or something, or even, some form of cattle, and they would have just walked around and around and around, like sometimes you see in old pictures in Greece, where they're processing the olives between stone wheels. Fortunately, a lot of these old windmills and water mills are still in operation. They're still grinding flour. You look out for stone ground flour from individual mills. I could live in something this size. A really cute little hut, and it faces the sun. It has the sun all day, because the back of it is to the north. And it has this beautiful river flowing right by it. Oopsie. Where you could get your water, filter it, have a wash, have a swim in hot weather. Oh, lovely. Just listen to its music. And a lovely sheltered spot for a veg patch. Really nice sheltered spot. Amazing spot for a veg patch. Really sheltered, and it gets the sun all day. Yep. And lots of lovely hills to go walking on. Lots of brambles and sloes growing everywhere. Really nice. Rewild the field. Keep the sheep out. And this huge expanse of sky to marvel at. It's very cold in there. I think I'm actually colder in this little converted mill house than I am in my van. Let my heart reflect thy light, Lord, as the moon reflects the light of the sun in love, always in love. Let my heart reflect thy light, Lord, as the moon reflects the light of the sun in love, always in love. Strong wind, deep waters, I feel them in my body, and I feed them to my source. Tall trees, deep waters, strong wind, warm fires, I feel them in my body, and I feed them to my source. Tall trees, warm fires, strong winds, deep waters, I feel them in my body, and I feed them to my soul. Land of the silver birch and home of the beaver, where still the mighty moose wanders at will. Blue lakes and rocky shores, I will return once more. Boom diddy idee, boom diddy idee, boom diddy idee, boom. Land of the silver birch and home of the beaver, where still the mighty moose wanders at will. Blue lakes and rocky shores, I will return once more. Boom diddy idee, boom diddy idee, boom diddy idee, boom. Land of the silver birch and home of the beaver, where still the mighty moose wanders at will. Blue lakes and rocky shores, I will return once more. Boom diddy idee, boom diddy idee, boom diddy idee, boom. Hi everybody. So I've been in Wales for 10 nights and I'm now heading back to Macclesfield, well, at least to the woods just south of Macclesfield where I like to park up. This is my last sort of stop on my road trip. I was looking for a little goodbye video to Wales. Whittington Castle, chain of fortresses along the English and Welsh border throughout the 13th century. The earliest settlement was in the Iron Age, 1220, large and impressive moated stone castle. There we go. Sort of reminds me of modern day Dubai with you know, its false islands. They'd have had a good supply of fish. And a lovely garden with vegetables and herbs and things. There's a moat and towers. These look like the original doors, or at least very old doors. Gates. And a very old building, but not 13th century. One of the towers. I always imagined myself as a 13th century lady sitting in one of these windows on one of the benches, watching the world go by, although judging by this arrow slit, these were not windows where ladies sat. These were defence towers. You can see up there where there were beams put in to make another floor. And how much stone actually went in between, in the thickness of these walls. Learned a lot about myself, again, as usual, as always, whenever you go on a trip. Yeah, it's been wonderful. So, goodbye Wales, and thank you so much again. You have been my home on so many times. You have been a place of refuge, a place of delight, just a place of friendship and love and beauty, and I really appreciate you. So until next time, croeso. Diolch yn fawr.